Hello adventurers, I'm Graytale, also known as the Gamer Bread, also known as Jonathan in real life. And I wanted to have a little heart-to-heart to everyone about what's been going on, about school, about life, about what's been keeping me busy. Because I haven't done one of those in a while, and I feel like I need to give an explanation as for what's going on the channel and sort of what I'm doing right now. So if you're wondering what we're on right now, this is actually a Minecraft Realm server that's not hosted by me or any of my close friends. It's actually hosted by a club at our school, which is really nice. So there's actually a good number of people that get on this and build stuff and do things. This isn't my house, this is someone else's house. I figured it might be a good idea to just tour this place, show you guys around while I just talk about different things that are going on in my life. So for those who don't know, and this is completely unscripted by the way, for those who don't know, I am in pharmacy school. I won't say what school, it probably wouldn't be too hard to figure out, but I don't really care to say it. If you figure it out, I also don't really care. But I'm in pharmacy school, and anyone who's in a graduate program, anyone who wants to become a doctor in something, knows that that is going to be a busy schedule. And most people aren't doing YouTube and stuff like that while being in grad school, so honestly, I'm pretty happy with myself just being able to do it. But just to go into sort of what's going on at pharmacy school, last semester was not quite as busy as this one. I've talked quite a bit about last semester. It was still super busy, not gonna lie. Way busier than I've ever been in my life, but this is even more busy than last semester. Which you wouldn't think so if you just looked at the classes. So just to go into sort of what's been keeping me busy, because that's the main theme here. My classes are pretty hard. Not as hard as last semester's classes, in my opinion. At least for the most part. There are like one or two that are hard, like harder, I would say, than some of last semester's classes. Most of them aren't as bad. So to go into my general schedule, it's usually about 2 to 3 hours of classes per day, other than Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesdays and Fridays are sort of the worst, because Tuesdays and Fridays are both testing days, so there's set testing blocks where teachers can decide to use for tests. If there's no tests, then we get that time off, which is nice, but it's always permanently set to be open for exams, if teachers want to have them open there. So Tuesdays and Friday mornings from 8 until 10 a.m. are the exam times. So often, we'll have exams those days. It's not often we get a break from them, so we usually have 1 or 2 exams per week. And after those exams, which last 2 hours, generally, we have another 2 hours of class on both of those days, and then we have a 1 hour break, and then on Tuesdays we have lab in the afternoon, which is 4 hours long. It's really tiring. Tuesdays are so tiring that I don't really want to do anything after they're done on Tuesdays. And, by the way, this is my house. I haven't finished it yet. I'm still working on it. People have said that they like how it's coming along, which I quite like it. It's a little watery house, floating on the river. Or lake. Yeah, it's more of a lake. But it goes into a river. Anyway, back to the main topic at hand. Our lab this semester is called Compounding Lab. And anyone who, like, if you don't know what compounding is, that's the sort of the process of making your own drugs in-house at your pharmacy, either to make a dosage form that's not normal for that drug, or to make a dose that's not normally available, or to make it better for a certain patient who can't take a certain form, etc., etc. There's all sorts of reasons to do compounding, but this lab's to get us hands-on experience on making those different types of drugs, and it's a lot of work. It's quite physical. We don't have like complex machines like actual compounding pharmacies have, so we make everything by hand for the most part, and it takes a lot of preparation, and they grade it pretty harshly and all that, and it's rough and it's really tiring. So Tuesdays are like that, and then Fridays, we don't have lab on Fridays, but we do have another class after that break for another 2 hours, so it's also really tiring. I like this chimney. But outside of just classwork, because if you just looked at my schedule, you would think it's not too bad. It's actually not as many classes as many people, or as not as much time spent in classes as many people in high school would say that they have, or even in some undergrad programs. But it's what's beyond just the in-class time that makes me super busy. So, of course, there's the studying and preparation and homework and all that stuff to do, which takes a ton of time. Don't get me wrong. I'm almost constantly every single day studying for exams. But even beyond that, I'm pushing myself this semester to be the most active I've ever been in school in terms of like organizations, leadership, doing new things I've never done before. And so far, like, I'm enjoying it. I'm learning a lot, and I'm really excited to push myself. But the more I push myself to do these things, the less time I have to do other things. It's a trade-off. So our school has sort of set times, which are called common times, which are made for organizations to host meetings and things like that. Like, they have to be set times so that all these clubs at our school can plan things out ahead of time. And I'm in so many organizations at my school. I'm in every single organization that I could possibly be in right now, except for one. For the most, yeah, right now, except for one. So I'm in 7 clubs. I have leadership roles in 2 of them, soon to be 3 or 4 next semester, and I'm running for class president next semester, which I came in 2nd place this year. So I'm hoping that I can be class president next year, if I give a pretty good speech about it. And I'm planning to run for the president-elect, which is the future president of one of our organizations here next semester as well. I don't know if I'm going to win that one, but I'm going to try it. But what I'm trying to say is, even beyond that, I'm also joining a fraternity around here. So there's 2 fraternities you can join during your first year here, and I'm joining one of them. And if you join one, you can't join the other, so that's sort of how it works. Basically, the only club I'm not a part of right now here is the Christian Pharmacy Club. Not because I'm not Christian, and not because I hate Christians or anything like that, just because I'm not like the most dedicated Christian, and I'm already going crazy of my schedule, so I figured like, if I'm gonna not do something, that's probably the only one. I'm sorry, but I'm already dying of being so busy right now. But I'm having to organize all sorts of things for these different leadership roles and plan out how I'm going to study and how I'm going to run for things in the future. I send tons of emails every day right now to different teachers and different contacts. And it's just a whole mess of things that I need to do in order to stay up to date with everything that's going on. Ooh, Community Potion Enchanting Tower coming soon. That's cool. So, yeah, that's basically what's been keeping me busy for the most part. And while I'm doing all that stuff, like, you can imagine that it already is difficult to just do things that if it's difficult to do YouTube, it's even more difficult to just do the things I normally enjoy doing, which is like watching YouTube videos and watching anime and playing video games. I haven't played many games recently, so playing Minecraft until like 2 a.m. last Friday was the best break I've had in a long time. It was a whole lot of fun. I'm hoping to do it again next Friday. It's going to be great. But I haven't had much time for almost anything, so recording for YouTube is pretty much the only time I play games every single week now, other than Fridays. And the reason why Fridays are a bit unique is that even though I have school until 3 p.m., and it's a really busy day for school, I go to a club at the undergrad. So my grad school here is part of our undergrad institution. It's like a whole umbrella. And so I was a part of the gaming club here when I was still an undergrad. And I still go to that every Friday right now. And I stay there usually from like 8 p.m. until past midnight. Last time it was until 2 a.m. So that's a whole fun thing to do. But as you can imagine, that adds some more thing that takes my time. And I usually try and record on Saturdays too. So this is where I'm going to get into like YouTube and when do I usually record videos. So I record on Saturdays most of the time. Saturdays and Sundays if I don't have time on Saturdays. Because that's the only time I have where I'm not required to immediately start cramming for exams. And I usually record on Saturdays because then Sundays I spend cramming for exams. But right now it's Sunday and I'm recording this video. I haven't recorded anything else yet. And the reason for that is I've been busy on the weekends as well these past 2 weeks. I've had no time whatsoever for like anything related to YouTube. And I need to find time. I'm exhausted right now. So these past 2 weeks, I've been on 2 different conventions, or conferences you could say, for 2 different organizations at my school. And these are like regional and national conferences that take place in different places across America. They can range from like Pennsylvania to New York to California to all these places. Like there's all sorts of conferences that different organizations host. And I went to one this past weekend, like yesterday, and I say yesterday, this is going up on Wednesday, this video is. So I guess I should just say like this past weekend. And then the weekend before this past weekend, I went on another big conference to Pennsylvania. And these have been really long things that take up a lot of time, a lot of energy. You stay overnight, several nights. And that's the first conference was why I recorded 8 videos in a row to upload for 2 weeks. So now, I didn't realize that I'd be so tired this weekend as well with the other one-day conference. But that's sort of like my life right now. It's busy every weekday. If it's not at school, it's studying for school. Or on the even on the weekends, I'm doing school stuff, going on conferences, going on trips, going to meetings with teachers. It's crazy. I don't know. I still love doing YouTube though, and it's not something I want to give up if possible. I'm hoping that I'm at least somewhat of a role model for my family, friends, and stuff like that, because I feel like I'm doing a lot. I am really, really pushing myself right now, especially being a somewhat introverted person. I've had people tell me, like, I tell them I'm a bit introverted, and they're like, oh, really? I didn't think so. I'm like, yeah, I'm 100%. I lean towards introverted for sure. I'm not like super, like, insanely introverted in that I can't talk to anyone. Home of Walrus, the Ascended Esteemed Lord of Oranges. What the heck? Never seen this place. But I've never held leadership roles. I will hold your account over property damage. Oh. I've never held leadership roles before coming to my school. And so you can imagine that trying to do all these different things is completely new to me, really difficult. I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm hoping to have a pretty decent resume by the time I get out of pharmacy school. I don't know, I want to be better than at least 90% of the class, if possible. And I want to make my family happy, and make them not stress out about me, because they already stress out about my brother. My brother has had some trouble in the past, and part of the reason why I push myself so hard is because I want to be at least one person in my family who can lighten everyone's mood, to make them proud, and be a good role model, so that my brother and my family can look up to me a little bit and sort of talk about me to other people and be like, we're so proud of our son. I'd be like, thank you. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best over here. And I'm happy. I'm happy. So don't worry. I am very fortunate. I know I'm fortunate in that I don't stress out about things much. Mental health is a big problem in graduate schools and doctorate programs and pharmacy school especially. Many people have to go to counseling, and there have been, unfortunately, people have gotten hurt from mental health and things like that, hurt themselves. I'm very fortunate in that I don't stress about much. I usually just go with the flow. If I see an opportunity, I'll try and grasp it. I'll email people, I'll talk to people, and not stress much about it. When it comes to classes, I'll do my best, try and get all A's, which I know I'm pretty smart. Like, I don't mean that in a bragging way, but I got all A's the first semester of grad school, and I'm pretty proud of that, honestly, because there were some tough exams during that first semester, and I'm trying to get all A's this semester too. Right now, there's only one class that I'm worried about not getting an A in. All the other ones I've scored so high in the exams that I'm not too worried about it. But I'm doing pretty well, and I know that. But I know that there's a lot more people smarter than I am, a lot more people who are better than I am naturally, and a lot of people who work harder than I do. And I'm just doing the best I can. I don't care about making everyone else like look up to me or anything like that, but I want to be someone who at least I can be proud of and that my family can be proud of, and that's the whole goal here. And I want to have fun while doing it, which is why I'm still doing YouTube. YouTube is sort of my passion. I've done it since I was young. I've literally said, like they've said, if you weren't a pharmacist, what would be your dream career? What would you want to do for the rest of your life? For me, that would be YouTube. I would love to be a big YouTuber, to talk to a lot of the YouTubers who I watched as a kid and record videos with them. That was my dream for so long, and I don't know if that's going to happen just because pharmacy is a much better, like more stable career choice. And I also find pharmacy to be fun as well. I enjoy it. It's something that you can really dedicate yourself to and learn about for your entire life and still have more to learn. But YouTube is what I find the most fun, and that's what I would love to do at some point. So maybe long in the future, I can retire and start doing YouTube full time just because I want to. And then during that time, I'll have enough free time that I can contact people and try and record with other YouTubers and actually grow and do that type of stuff. But right now, I don't think it's going to happen. I think the channel is going to keep its like slow growth. I'm hoping that when Graytale releases, I can record gameplay of that, and that'll be sort of what spurs the channel to grow a lot faster. That's sort of the plan. I'm excited about Graytale though. I hope I can make it up to that point because, I don't know, depending on how things go, next semester is going to be really, really tiring, and I feel like I'm nearing the end of this update. It's a bit rambly, but I just want to go over everything. Next semester is going to be rough. It's going to be difficult. I'm going to have so many different roles in different organizations, and is also the second year of pharmacy school is highly regarded by pretty much everyone. It's unanimous for the most part as the hardest year. or at least the most difficult year in terms of the material. Some people say that the first year of pharmacy school is the hardest. And the reason being is that the classes are almost as difficult as the second year. And a lot of people just came to pharmacy school right out of like not being in school for a long time, or just being an undergrad and not having good study habits and things like that. I've always had good study habits and been relatively good at school stuff in general. So I was pretty fine in terms of the first year and doing well in that stuff. It was still hard, but I was all right. So for me, I'm sure second year is going to be the hardest thing ever. I'm going to be super busy. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep doing YouTube second year. I'm not saying that I'm stopping second year. I'm going to try not to my fullest ability. However, I cannot guarantee that I won't burn out from doing YouTube and will have to focus fully on school. If that happens, then I will go ahead and make a promise right now that I would return to YouTube at some point in the future, whenever I have a lot more free time and when I have the ability to. But I would probably have to create a new channel if I did that, because YouTube is not friendly to people who take breaks on a YouTube channel. It's just not. It's impossible to recover. Even if you're a new channel and haven't taken breaks, it's still hard to grow, but it's much faster than taking a long break, that's for sure. I also promise that if something like that happened, like, I'm going to keep all of you all updated on everything that goes on. If something happens in my life, I'll let you all know. That's not like super personal. Because you all are the best people. You all are my fans. I really appreciate all of you. Honestly, I would never want to let you down by just like leaving without telling anyone, without letting you all know. That would be just disrespectful. That would be rude. I would never do that. So I just want you all to know that I care about you and that I'm going to do my best. Hopefully you all wish me luck. And let's end this off right where this video began. Hopefully you all enjoyed this really long update video. It's been a while since I've done this. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this to the end. If you did, I want to thank you sincerely. I appreciate it. I know that you care now. You really do care about what's going on in my life, and I really appreciate that. So I'd appreciate a like, subscription. Yeah. So yeah, that's all for now. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all on the next adventure.